Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Libtech Ejack knife. This board features Libtech's C3 camber profile, which is basically a camber 2.0. So what you get is a small dip of reverse between the feet, camber underfoot, then it comes down and it flattens out before it goes into the nose and the tail. This is going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive of traditional camber. Now, out in the nose, you also have a slight 3D shaping, so that's going to give you a little bit of ease of entry in and out of turns, as well as more optimal powder float. This board is available in 154, 157, 159, 159 wide, and 162 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was sunny, bluebird skies. It had a little bit of wind, warmer temps. You had chopped chunder, death cookies, frozen firm fast groomers that were softening up. You find spots where it was a little bit creamy, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board has a slightly directional flex, meaning softer nose with a big sweet spot, stiffening up from outside the front insert all the way back through the tail. The torsional flex kind of matches that overall flex from outside the front foot back through the tail as well. It's okay to engage, but it's very quick to rebound. As such, it's almost a little bit springy, if you will. Now, when it comes to stability, I was riding over frozen death cookies, which could best be described as ball bearings. So when you get on top of those, you pretty much felt everything coming up underfoot. When you weren't on those though, this board was very damp and smooth. Any chatter you got in the nose completely killed off before it hit the front foot. You get into like firmer, rutted out terrain, it would either skip across the top or flex with it and plow through what it needed to keep going. In softer, creamier snow, it just pushed everything to the side and just excelled at keeping its speed and not causing any of that kinetic energy to go up into your feet, ankles, knees, hips, or lower back. This board can snap. The C3 camber profile is very easy to engage. When you roll back on the tail, it pops. This board will boost a side hit, a roller. You'll be able to ollie over the fence into the terrain park if that's your thing. You don't have to worry about it. It doesn't fight you with that load, so you can be a little more laid back, but the more you put in, the more you're gonna get out. When it comes to jumps, skip the small, skip the medium, head right to the big stuff. That's what Eric Jackson would hit. I mean, that's whose board this is. And he likes hitting big backcountry jumps. I mean, realistically, this is a freestyle board disguised as a free ride board to an extent. With it, why waste its talent? Just go to bigger features. Yes, it can hit smaller and medium jumps, but it really wants to boost off the lip, get you higher, go a little bit further into the landing, whether you load it up or not. Like, the cool thing is, if you're coming into the lip and you just load it up, but you don't actually pop and you just sort of push it off the transition, you're gonna snap and get up in the air. You actually do pop off of it, it's the exact same thing. This is a board that just excels at getting into the air. Okay, so you're enjoying this review. If you clicked like, you know you need to. We need that engagement. While you're at it, if you haven't subscribed, why don't you do that? Click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. So with this board being a little bit of a freestyle free ride board, you got this sweet spot in the nose, and that's where you want to aim when you pop a 180. Get into it. This is the easiest spot to flex on this board. You pop a 180, it's going to hold that press until you want to disengage it, then you flick the ankle a little bit and it's going to snap right out. The tail takes a little more effort. You're going to put your weight outside, really push into it, and it's going to fight you. It's going to want to spring, but if you know what you're doing, you're a competent rider, you're going to be able to butter. Most of you people that will ride this board will probably actually be pow buttering instead of on a groomer. I just know how that is. There's a few of you that'll probably buy step-ons for this thing and ride it on a groomer. I don't know why, but hey, that's your choice. You can do whatever you want with it. And this kind of translates over to how it's going to jib. It has limitations. That's no stretch of the imagination. It's a stiffer all-mountain freestyle free ride board. The nose, bigger sweet spot. Obviously that's going to lock into an press and that's going to be okay. It'll hold it to the end with some fight and you'll be able to pop out of it. The tail, that's going to also lock into a press and hold it with more fight. So you're going to be just making sure that you're doing kind of a balance board act. Otherwise it's going to slap down on you. When you go sideways, It doesn't have as much give as you would hope for, so it's kind of a balance board act on it, and you might find it shifting under your back foot or your front foot. Just go faster. That's my answer to this. Just go faster and you won't have a problem with it. This board can carve. It's quick and nimble, edge to edge. You notice that power transmission, but it's also forceful. You get a little bit of power. And when you get it on edge, you're gonna notice that magnet traction grips and locks in until you start to hit the apex of the carve and go to flat base it, then it will slightly disengage. Short, tight, quick carves, medium, mellow carves, it's on lock. You don't have to worry about it. When you go for those deeper, more aggressive carves, I actually had it kick out on me twice and slightly disengage, then re-engage when laying it over. That magnet traction basically would overflex from the center of the board back through the tail, disengage, skip, lock back in. This seemed to happen more on the really firm, crusty, horrible early morning snow, but as the day went on, it got a little bit softer. I didn't have that problem. So I think there are some limitations. You're gonna have to find it, but it's also gonna be condition dependent. And when you figure out like what kind of conditions you're riding it in, and you're like, oh, okay, it's doing this today. This is probably gonna be the only day it does this year. You'll be fine. Rider in mind. This board is for the all-mountain ripper that wants something with a little bit of taper, some 3D in the nose, and a freestyle focus. They want to be able to spin a front or back three off of a side hit, but they also want it to float well when they hit some pow. It's for the guy that's going to have one board. Did you know we have an alternative way for you to support us? Why don't you swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and check it out. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that'll explain it so much better. This board is solid. It's got good power, it's got good edge hold for the most part, it's got great spring when you need it, the shape's cool. It does have that 3D shaping in the nose, and to be honest, I didn't even notice it. Like, they claim it's there, I true-barred it, it's very minimal, like, most people probably aren't gonna notice it. I think if anything, it kinda helps with some pow funneling to the side. It's not reducing edge hook at all with it, but this board is good. I would definitely recommend it though for someone that's a free rider with a very big freestyle focus. And it is a little bit on the stiffer side, so, you know, if you're a competent rider, cool, check it out. If you're an incompetent rider, I'm sure we have something else for you. Comparable boards: the Ride Moderator, the wired Vantage, the Salomon Assassin Pro. Binding recommendations: the Bent Metal Transfer, the Ride C8, the Roam DOD. This has been my review of the Libtech Ejack knife. If you're looking for something else, why don't you check out one of the videos for one of the comparable boards I just mentioned.